This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
I love what she does because it answers a lot of questions that we all may have. She helps move your life forward through coaching, however, radically different. It is soul astrology wellness coaching, connecting to astrology, science, by the way, and connecting to our souls to figure out what's going on, maybe what's not working, what is waiting in the wings for us, and trying to dissect the way we feel, even on a regular basis, because it's changing every day, just like the stars and the planets are. And so great to have her back as our professional of the year. Nancy Volante is on the program today. How you doing?
I'm good, Steve. Nice to be here and just navigating as
Uh-huh.
usual, right? That's what we do. We are universal navigators. What you just said just sparked me creativity. It's like universal navigators. I kind of like that because that's kind
Hmm.
of what we do, right?
We are
Is
navigating the universe
yeah,
in a universal way.
yeah,
And we've identified this previously. We got stuff going on.
we do.
I'm going to say, far from the expert, disclaimers out there. Um, I don't know anything about anything really so much when it comes to astrology. However, I'm aware that we have multiple retrogrades going on right now. We have other things, pending retrogrades of planets that we're going to talk about. That all being said, this moment in time, would you say that, and I don't want to be theatrical, I don't want to be alarming or anything like that, but would you say this is a very, very impactful time for all of us right now with the alignment of the planets, but for realization of what's going on in life and the future? Yeah, would you say this is heavy or interesting? There's more than other times in maybe in our history. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Steve. And it's so you said that well said. Well said. And it really is. And I'll tell you, because there is a lot of outer planets and the outer planets, meaning I'm going to put Saturn in there because Saturn is right in between, because we can still see Saturn, but the next over, Chiron, which we'll talk about today, which is more of an asteroid. And then we go to Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So all these outer planets are considered collective consciousness. But also, we within our collective consciousness, we have to be individual, right? It has to affect us individually, or we can't have a collective consciousness. So, what is so interesting is that all these planets, Uranus not yet, but in September, all these outer planets, Saturn, Chiron, which is an asteroid, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus will be in September. They're all going to be retrograde. And August is very important energetically as a energetic update because these planets are all at 2 to 0 degrees. So the degrees in astrology are very important because that's the mapping of, it's kind of like when you're going down a highway and you see the exit 49 miles or the
Mm.
exit 2 miles, right? That's how the degrees are. So right now we are in, and they go in three shifts. The first shift, the second, and the third. The first shift is really important because it's fresh. It's new energy. It's intense. We're learning, we're making choices, we're at a choice point. So with all these planets at a choice point of 2 to 0 degrees, Pluto's at 2 degrees Aquarius. Saturn is at, let me look here because I put the chart up, is at 1 degrees of Aries, and Neptune is at 1 degrees of Aries, and Uranus is at 0 degrees of Gemini right now. And we won't talk
Oh.
about Chiron right this second. So they're all very compact and complex. So this signifies a paradigm shift. we're shifting into a new paradigm, society-wise, societal, consciousness, choice point, personally. There's a lot going on. So, and each of these planets embody a theme. So, for instance, Pluto embodies the theme of transformation, birth, death, and rebirth. Saturn provides us with the theme of tearing down structure and building structure. What are our values? What are our morals around society, around what we do, around our choices, around power? Well, actually, excuse me, Pluto is power. Saturn is those choices of being responsible, being held accountable. And when you are held accountable, you can tear that structure down and rebuild it. Being right next to Neptune, there's a little bit of illusion going on. Neptune is the imagination. It's the divine source. It's everything. Like there's really no boundaries. It's very watery, very, very spiritual. So we're going through how do we redefine our spirituality through our death and rebirth of creating a transformation of what works and what doesn't work. There's a big
Mm.
mouthful. I'm not going to get into Uranus because it's not retrograde yet. And when it does retrograde, it'll go from Gemini back into Taurus to see if we need to pick up anything that we've forgotten.
You said, Nancy, that August is very impactful, not just because of the transits. Why?
Well, because we could just look and see, again, without putting astrology into it, we see what's going on in our society right now.
But is
Uh,
it the month of August or just what's
Well, they
going on?
say, it's been July, it's been August, but August is when all this is going to kind of like really congeal and come together. So we're going to feel the energy. I think it started off with the earthquake in Russia. That was huge. That's a huge wake-up call consciously. And I just want
Mm.
to say I'm glad that there wasn't a lot of devastation and a lot of people that were hurt. That I want to put
Yep.
out there. But the earth was talking.
Hmm. You opened the door for the direction I was going in, and
Okay, I love
it
it.
sounds like all of this is a wake up call or a mirror. Like many of us, if you're a little bit deeper, maybe more in touch with yourself, we all know. Let's say this: we have all the answers within. Everything is inside of us. We already know. It's connecting with it. That's the challenge. But is these transits, even the earthquake, just another wake up call for us to now take notice, take action, realize what's not working, and do something about it? It's almost like a mirror, like, hello, just knocking on the door again. You need to take a look at this. That's why we're transiting this way. This is for you to realize that, you want to take another look at what's going on in your life. You think that's ultimately what's going on here?
I do. I do. And I do because we are a micro of the micro of the macro, right?
Mm.
So yeah, that what's happening now with Earth, we live on Earth. Earth is our stability point. She sustains us. And so she is at a point, her own choice point right now with where the planets are because of, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus will be, they're all retrograde. So it's like a reflection back in because that's what retrograde is. It's like turning inward. She's turning inward. And there's been what's ever gone on the last couple thousands of years, if you will, even in centuries. We haven't always gone in the right direction as far as being united. There's been a separation of what the earth is and what we are. So these degrees, Steve, 1 degree, 0 degrees, 2 degrees, again, they're choice points. So we're being given an opportunity to make a choice. Oh, wow, this is what happened. How can we make a choice to maybe do something different? To feel what's gone on, acknowledge what has gone on inside personally, whatever that is for you in your chart, and outside what's going on with the earth, because it is a mirror. It's a
Mm,
big mirror.
yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling it now personally of, oh, best description. Things have come clearer. Direction has come clearer. A common theme that I need to address in my life, involving trust, because I trust everyone. And
I can relate to that.
yeah, and it's yeah, just actually made some changes earlier today, business wise, some little projects floating out here that just aren't supporting. And I was going with my intuition, like, can we make this work? And no, it's not working. Well, what if I, adjust it this way? That no, every single time in my mind, I came up with a brick wall of my intuition saying, mm-mm-mm. And I want things to work a certain way with somebody I'm partnered up with. The universe won't let me.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time in my life where it's like wall. It's
Mhm.
no, sir. You are
Yeah.
not going. It's not, you're not moving forward in that direction. That's it. There you go. And I have to make change. But it's the weirdest thing. And I think it's related to the transit. I really do.
It really is, you're talking the transits. That's why I think it's so beautiful because we are, on some level, the transits. Because again, we're navigating the universe. We're part of that. And what I'm really hearing
Mm,
you say, Steve, I'm hearing Saturn, Saturn and Aries, because you said up against a wall.
yeah.
If it's not right and you are paying attention, you will feel Saturn is not going to give you the go sign. It's going to do a big fat stop. Did you learn the lesson? What do you need to learn? What is it that you're going to redo again that you don't have to redo again? Because Saturn is in Aries and that's your identity. That's how do I move forward with what I want to do with my independence and my voice and the
Mm,
warrior within. Because Aries is on the front line. So how do we do that without causing a big turmoil or a fight or something that is going to internally cause me not to feel good about myself and my identity. So that's Saturn. And you did that gesture with your hand up like that's a wall. That's the respect of Saturn. Not to be, everybody thinks that Saturn, oh my God, Saturn, how? Yes, Saturn is about limitation, but it's about growth because Saturn is the teacher, the karmic teacher. And you want a teacher that's not going to, excuse me, give you any bullshit.
yeah, that's it. I
Right?
feel exactly what you're saying,
And yeah,
and the outcome of this, the brick wall and making a change, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad
no,
thing, but
no.
it's the reality thing, and everything you just described, using my voice and all of that right there is. Thank you for that. It was just it was reconfirming, it was confirming what's going on, and
Right.
that's this situation. That's what it's all about, and I want people to be happy. I want to make things work in this situation. There's too many things that say not going to work, but it was like I've never felt that before. Like, I'm getting better with my intuition. This one is, and I guess you're right. That's Saturn. That's the stop. That's
That's
there's
the stop.
the hard stop.
It's a hard stop. And, I'm looking at the transits for today. I brought that with me.
Oh,
I always do actually. We have Saturn conjunct, and a conjunction means that two planets are blending like this. And they're both, and Saturn is blending with Neptune. They're both in Aries, they're both at 1 degrees. Now, Saturn is very different than Neptune. Neptune's watery, very, up in the transcendent form of the divinity of spirituality. She just wants to go. Saturn is like, I'm pulling the reins, Neptune, because we gotta dissolve. Saturn is wanting to dissolve the old structures that maybe Neptune in Aries is doing about like, well, yeah, I'll just do that because I feel really spiritual and I don't want to have any boundaries. But Saturn is saying no, to use your imagination, to use your spirituality within your body. We're going to have to dissolve some narratives that don't work anymore.
mm. Um, any other advice that you have I guess for the month of August with all different things going on there.
Well, as I look at the chart here, we have that Neptune and Saturn in Aries kind of applying, which means getting closer to Chiron in Aries. So Chiron just is still stationed, it's going to go direct, excuse me, retrograde August 1st. Quickly, Chiron is an asteroid, but it's so important in the chart. Okay. The myth around Chiron, and I'll do this quickly, is that Chiron was immortal, half centaur, half human. And he got shot by his friend with an arrow in the Achilles tendon, a poisonous one. And he was like, "Oh my God, how could you do this to me? I'm your friend. And now you've shot me with an arrow." And Hercules said, "By mistake." Well, Chiron could never heal that wound. And it was always, he was a great healer, a teacher, teacher of heroes, everything. So that Chiron, that symbol is in birth charts, and it looks like a key. And it symbolizes the wounded warrior in all of us. We all have a wound that we're trying to heal. Never really going to totally heal, but we can learn from it. And when we use that key to open, it becomes our wisdom. So our wound becomes our wisdom. Our wound becomes the gifts that we can share with the world, our talents. But if we don't use that key to open it by doing that work, by listening to Saturn, Neptune, it's hard to get to that spot of hurt. And we all have it.
Hmm.
And it's different for everybody depending on what house it's in.
I often say we're all blanket warriors. When you
Yeah.
think about everything you've been through in your life, like really take some time. We're badasses. Like when you think
Yeah.
about it, like, whoa, how did I pull that off? Remember, even your childhood. Some of us had some challenges there. We got through it. Yeah, wounded. We are. We might not realize it, but it's there, and that's, we need to work through that. But pretty amazing stuff when you kind of take a look at all of it, right down to health issues.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that Chiron is truly about resilience.
Hmm.
How do we gain resilience? Because if we don't, and it's your choice, right? Where we have free will, we can make a choice. If we don't want to sometimes confront our wounds, feel our wounds, Chiron wants you to feel them. We never get to the core of who we are, and we can't integrate ourselves at a soul level, which is why I love astrology wellness coaching because we find that. We find our trauma, we find our wound. We all have it on many different levels. But when we can integrate it, understand it, and be with it, the key, you can use that key to open it and you gain that wisdom. We have an opportunity, Steve, to do that now with Chiron in retrograde. It might not feel great, but it's asking us to go back inward and check that out.
I guess we should express gratitude for these transits.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%. How beautiful is that, Steve? Thank you for that.
Mm. Like it's once you realize it, even in that situation I described, I believe it's coming to light at the moment for a reason because the universe is doing it that way. I might have just not seen it, rode the train a little bit longer, whatever it might be, but it it is the spotlight. The
Yeah.
planets are the spotlight, and it's
Yeah.
shining down on us.
And the one thing I want to say with what you're going through with the relationship or the partnership, and you might be taking the lead, Aries. Aries is a leader,
Mm,
but in the end, the other person on the end of that partnership will be free as well,
of course, of course,
right? And how
and,
beautiful is that?
and
But maybe
ultimately,
you're an intern. Yeah.
they're probably feeling the same way. In some conversations, kind of express that for a moment here and there. Um, I just took the Aries bull by the horn and said,
There you go.
and that was based on the brick wall, the Saturn wall that
See?
came up.
And you so eloquently just spoke of this whole, I'm looking at the chart and I'm looking at Saturn and Aries, Neptune and Aries, the chart of today, nobody's chart, the transits
Yep.
in the sixth house of healing, of work. of doing the everyday and the details of it and how to change that. And it's going towards that seventh house, Chiron in Aries. It'll take a while to get there, but of relationships. So we are, being the leader of our own independence, our own I am, right? Instead of apologizing for who you are, you're going to just speak who you are, finding a new foundation, finding a nice poetic way, Neptune, to speak that.
And thank you for speaking that. You having a life coach, a coach to help move your life forward is fantastic. You give the reason behind why things are happening, and it all gets back to astrology, whether we want to believe it or not. You can deny it. I've seen it over years. I've heard all of this. The difference is I didn't really pay attention, and I didn't believe how the stars are really driving us. But now I see it. Yeah, it's cool. It really is.
And when you say driving too, it is a partnership between the universe and us. It's like sometimes, we both drive. So if you think about it as a partnership, because the planets are not doing anything to us, they're guiding us. Guiding us. And
Yes.
that's how you stay empowered and present in your own soul self.
The best way to be guided is to know that you are. And you don't get that unless somebody speaks with somebody like yourself and just dissects and understands how all this goes. Nancy, how do we find you?
You can find me on my website, which is thewhisperingsoul.net. You could reach me at my email, nancy@thewhisperingsoul.net. Give me a call at 203-770-8938, or please go on my Instagram. There's a lot of information there. The Whispering Soul Astrology. I do an energy update, moon update every day, do a couple videos, and I'd love to connect.
Love it. And when we first got together a while back, I was looking at you more on the coaching side. This has all changed to the beautiful blend between astrology and coaching. I don't know anybody else that does what you do.
Well, thank you so much, because this has all been an opening for me, because I am redefining myself and my identity as I sold my yoga studio. So this podcast came at a really beautiful time. So I am transforming and learning and growing every week that we talk, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you. And this is what you do is amazing, because you give the reason behind it, an astrologer, but then what do we do with it? The coach. Awesome. Thank you for today. Looking forward to next time we get together.
You bet. You have a great day.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.